Good afternoon and welcome to the Republican debate this Saturday, the 31st of January 2026, the last day of the month of January 2026. Of course, we are discussing important topics. Of course, deviances in schools. Are we all guilty? We have seen students taking alcohol, taking drugs in school. Who is to be blamed? The teachers, the parents, or the society at large? We shall equally be discussing patriotism. Does the love for neighborhood have a price? Because we know that today there is embezzlement of public funds. Those who embezzle funds, do they love the fatherland? Today we see how some Cameroonians, when the national anthem is being song, certainly you see others are talking, others are marching around, discussing and so on and so forth. Can we really say that there is that love for fatherland, or patriotism really has a price? That, of course, are the questions that we shall be asking this afternoon as to what concerns the Republican debate. To discuss, I have a lady of substance and, of course, a man of caliber and timber. I'll begin with the lady. They call her Madame Nyang Sylvia Njang. She is an educationist. We say good afternoon, Madam, and welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tabi. Good afternoon to my fellow panelists. Good afternoon to you out there, televiewers. It is always a pleasure to be with you on the Republican television.
How is education going in Cameroon?
Education in Cameroon is going well. It is going well.
We shall be discussing education, especially as you are an educationist. We say thank you for coming. Equally, with us on this panel, we have already Hassan Sama. He is a researcher. Hassan, we say good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Tabi. Good afternoon to my co-panelists. Good afternoon to those still on their way coming. And good afternoon to the technicians who are manning what the public is seeing here, who are not as visible as we are. Good afternoon to our televiewers out there.
We are still expecting Lambert Kevin, who of course is a journalist and of course a full Godfrey of the communication bench of the governing CPD party. We want to believe that they will join us in the course of this program. I'll begin with you, Hassan Sama. Hassan Sama, we are talking patriotism. Can we say patriotism, to be a patriot, you need to have something, you need to gain something? Becoming a patriot, does it have a price? What is your take on that?
Yeah, sometimes some people have accused us for coming here and not communicating well with them. That when we come here, we are all struggling to demonstrate our academic progress or the certificates we carry around with us. And so I decided that when I come here, I will speak to the level of the common man. The common man will not understand what is called patriotism if we have to define it based on the knowledge we've gained through our education. In simple terms, patriotism means the idea of someone or a group working for themselves first and then for the interest of the general public. And I want to think that patriotism, we should be very careful not to be enslaved with what we've gained while on the benches in schools, in formal schools. Patriotism starts from the home. Every family has a flag, has a code of conduct, which means if you go against that flag of the family, that code of conduct of the family, you are not a patriot in your family. Same with your community. In your community, there are certain esoteric societies in your community where when you hear them out, you hide, you don't move, you stand still until they are off. And so when you start, there's not respecting those the usual that make up your culture, your traditional custom. Don't expect that when you come now to the modern state, where your question is really based on the modern state, you will do better. A child who speaks the mother tongue very well, who masters the mother tongue, will speak any language as well as speak the mother tongue. So start from there. Your question is, has it a price? It has a price in a situation where honor is accorded to those who deserve it. If appointment, which I hear is discretional, if we were based on morality, based on patriotism, many of our leaders will not be there. And so, in a situation where people are not giving to Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God, somebody will not understand if patriotism has a price. The price of patriotism, in one word, is if you work well for the benefit of your family, for the benefit of your community, for the benefit of the state, will you deserve to be rewarded? And if you are not rewarded, does it mean that you shouldn't work well? No. You leave it to God. It's just like kindness. When you are doing kindness, don't expect the person who is benefiting from your kindness to always acknowledge what you have done. Allow it to God. So patriotism has a price in that you feel more at ease, knowing that you are doing the right thing for your community. No matter what, as long as your conscience tells you that you are doing the right thing for your community, there's a price which is paid. In that, the time for reckoning, you always be one of those to benefit.
Yes, Madam Jean, what is your take? Patriotism, does it have a price to love the fatherland?
It is my colleague, my co-panelist, Mr. Hassan, rightly talked about a layman definition of what patriotism is all about. So it is very important that when we talk of patriotism, we talk in a way that everybody will understand what it means, because this is something that is very pertinent in our country that we must address it. Now, when we talk of patriotism, we mean it is simply love for country, love for nation. When you have love for nation, you are a patriotic citizen. And now, it is not love based on what we say, the vocal term of it. Love, we all know that be it filial love, be it agape love, any kind of love, love is shown. We don't just speak love and just believe it. No, it is shown. Now, it is the actions that you do that determine whether you love the country or you don't love the country. So when we talk of patriotism, we mean those things that you do that will warrant the country to have a kind of dignity, that will make the country proud of you, that the country will be proud of its citizens, and the citizens too will be proud of the country. That is what patriotism is all about. And because patriotism is based on the actions of citizens in the country, I will say it has a price. Patriotism has a price. Now, if you are a patriotic citizen, there are things that you must sacrifice for the nation to go ahead. We have many patriotic citizens. I want to talk with example. Let me talk about the military. The military, they work for the country. Their work is to defend the country, to defend the state, and they pay what we call the ultimate price with their own very lives, you see. So when they go to the battlefront, they fight for the country and they die for the country. So those are patriotic citizens. We as ordinary citizens, we pay taxes in the country. It is the taxes we pay is for the well-being of the country. That is a patriotic move. At times you sacrifice even your own dignity, your own right. You know that what I have the right to do this, but for the sake of peace, you stay behind so that peace should reign. That is the sacrifice you make for the smooth running of the country. Now, when we are talking of patriotism and we talk of love for one's country, and we talk about a price to pay, the question I want to ask, you are the one asking questions, but this is a rhetorical question that we all should at least try, our televiewers should reflect on. When we talk of a price, in a country like Cameroon, in our own context, who pays the price of patriotism? Who pays the price? Because if you look at the functioning of Cameroon, of our country, it is like there are particular people who benefit from the price that other people pay, you see. But it is supposed to be something that is common. Everybody have to work for the good of the nation, for the well-being of a nation. But when particular people keep on sacrificing, keep on paying the price, and their sacrifices is not even does not even yield anything beneficial. Like Mr. Hassan just said, that when you sacrifice, at the end of it, there should be something that is that you benefit from. But when you keep sacrificing and then others benefit from your sacrifice, that is where the patriotism becomes at stake. You see, now it seems as people are no more patriotic, not because they don't love the country, but because they want to fight against certain challenges that they face in the country.
Madam Jam, if I give you money to buy a pencil made for maybe public consumption,
yes,
and then you don't buy that pencil, you take that money and put it into your private pocket, can we say that you are a patriot?
Of course, in the normal sense of it, I am not a patriot. You see, because that is a dishonest act. It doesn't bring glory. It doesn't glorify the nation. It doesn't bring honor to the nation. I remember at one point in time, it was said that Cameroon is the most corrupt country in the world. And when we talk of corruption, we are talking of those who embezzle money, those who take money in order to render services, and many other things. It gives a bad image to the country. It gives a bad image for Cameroon. And now those people, perpetrators of such acts, are not patriots. They can never be termed as patriotic citizens, even if they occupy the most valuable high positions in the country. They are not patriotic.
We have just been joined by Fool Godfred. Fool, we say good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tavi, and I extend my greetings to Mr. Sam and
Madam Sylvia.
Madam Sylvia. And also to our televiewers, I tell them Happy New Year. Because it's my first time I've been here. I'm here since the beginning of this year. So the theme of today is a very interesting one. I think it is more educational than being a simple theme. Because today we have discovered that patriotism, which is one of the elements that should make a country to stand, that should make a country to shine, that should make a country to be what it's supposed to be. Because, you know, sometimes we can define our country like our room, where we stay, where we have to do everything. And by so doing, we have to keep the room being clean. So, most of the time, we will discover some lapses as far as patriotism is concerned. But when we ask the question, do we have some prices when defending the fatherland? I think if we want to define patriotism, looking at the of price, we are going to see the prices in two different ways. The negative and the positive. Because it is true, in law they always say no action, no benefit, no action. You must need to have a benefit. But as far as patriotism is concerned, your benefit must not be only positive, because sometimes there are certain things that you portray that makes your country to look as it's supposed to, but you will always meet criticism. Sometimes even those who were to give you the prices, maybe the positive one that you are waiting for, you will find yourself sometimes being blocked because of your point of view, because of what you are doing that is going to make the country to move ahead. So when you are engaged like a patriotism, you have to at first think that as if you are a Cameroonian, you have to know it is the only property that you have. It is that's the only property that you have to leave to your children. That's the only property that you receive from your ancestor. Now, if you want to define the other small areas, but all of them are inculcated in the global system that we call Cameroon.
Some say you of the CPDM are not patriots. Do you share that opinion?
Mr. Chapi, you know, by the time we talk about patriotism, and I want to think that patriotism begins with 1, 2, 3, up to 30 or 25 million of Cameroonians, which simply means that patriotism is first of all personal. So if you try to do what you have been doing, others must not do what they're supposed to do. And for that reason, even the Bible said perfection is not from this world. We may think of perfection, but it will be at certain level that we can grade.
What do you have to tell those people? What do you have to tell those people who think that the CPD, that we have many people in the CPD who are not patriots?
No, when you say many, I tend to ask if you have grit and you have the percentage of
no,
those who are...
it, somebody just said to me.
Yes, you know, painting or saying something, you know, I like statistics. If the person said it with some statistics, it will help me at least to judge and know either the person is saying what. But just a say, you know, we don't like, me personally, I don't like to comment commentary because I don't know the relationship the person is having with the CBTM militants, because sometimes we are heard by one person, but we globalize. Okay. But I don't want to say in the CBTM, everybody is clean as they snow. So we'll always have those type of people, but our team today make us to turn and tell them that no matter who you are, no matter what you have been called to do, as far as this country is concerned, you have to show up. Make sure and think that you are the only person to portray the image of this country. And if your neighbor can copy, if the other person can copy, at the end of the day, we'll put Cameroon where it's supposed to be.
Mr. Hassan Sama, do you have the impression that many people today, they are not patriots, that that spirit of patriotism is not in them? Because if we are talking patriotism today, it's because there is that feeling that many Cameroonians are no longer patriots. What is happening?
Yeah, I think what is happening is that many people, what we call lip service, many people wanted to show their patriotism to get something. And immediately that compensation is not coming. they think that they are wasting their time. Meanwhile, patriotism is supposed to be something innate. As he rightly put it, patriotism, it is very difficult for you to globalize a group and say that they are not patriotic, because inside there are individuals. Everybody is an individual. As Madame Sylvia said, the taxes that we pay is a sign of patriotism. But I did not buy her that idea. She said her own example was on soldiers who defend the state and die. Everybody, the taxes you pay, you are defending the state. The soldiers are paid from the taxes you pay. They too pay taxes.
But that's an ultimate price.
And then you've forgotten that even footballers, they die on the field. They are no soldiers. You have already in an attempt to do your work. Sometimes you can lose your life. So all of us, that's what we call sacrifice. I was very happy when you said what you can sacrifice sometimes for the sake of peace. That is to say, there are certain exigencies that the community wants from you. Some may be the one that will stress you up. But if you want the community to move ahead, you have to sacrifice. Now the people, as I earlier said, if you want to demonstrate patriotism, stop putting at your forehead, the back of your head, that you need compensation. Because once that compensation is not coming up, the tendency is that you think that you are wasting your time and the like. Patriotism, as we said, is a matter of sacrifice. Sacrifice for your family, for your community, for your state. You brought up a certain question here, that if somebody is given money to buy a pen and the person doesn't buy the pen, is the person patriotic? But you didn't finish. Because it's just like in those days when we were in primary school, they say if there are 10 birds on the tree and you shoot one, how many are left? They didn't finish because of their level. The level was, they didn't know I have a silencer where you can shoot one bird, no other bird knows that, so anyone has been shot. So that what you ask, what happens if they give me money to buy a pen, and I don't buy that pen, but I do the work that pen I was supposed to buy did the work? What happens? Am I a patriot? Because there are many, let's just be very careful, there are many people in prison there, many senior officials of this regime who are in prison there, who effectively did not really steal fiscal cash. What the Frenchman calls tentative de vol. They asked them that they should build a classroom, and the classroom was a cement block had to be used. He went to the village. One classroom was going to cost 50 million. He went to that village, and the school of first cycle and second cycle had only 3 buildings. The people of the village said, we will mold our sun dry and we can construct 3. It is true that he has to come back, maybe to ask for permission, true. But if he decided to do it, I think the sanction should be mitigated. So patriotism is a matter of sacrifices without first thinking of something. But as I earlier said, if you are really a patriot, you have all the exigencies, all the obligations that you have vis-a-vis the state, vis-a-vis your community or your family. You do all those. We should naturally expect that if compensation were to come, you should be the first to be.
Do you think we still have Cameroonians who love the fatherland?
We have, but there are many of them are behind there. You and I, but I'm sure that you love your fatherland. I'm very sure that Sylvia and Fruya, those of us who come here every day, we are talking. The real people are laughing behind there. Let them continue to talk while we eat our money, but we are talking, and it is some people, somebody, somewhere is listening. So they are still patriots. But the question now is, these patriots, are they identified? Do you know that in my research work on the Anglophone crisis, I offered my services pro bono, as it's said in Latin, gratis, free of any expenses. But nobody will allow me even to talk about it because There are people there who want to eat money that and will not even do the job. So we still have, I think we have more patriots in Cameroon than those who are not patriotic. I end up, you were accusing his party that people say, you said people say they are not patriotic. Yes, they are not patriotic because people think that where they find themselves, what the population, what the community expect from them, they are not doing it. But I think that individually, I will find very difficult to say this CPD man is a bad person, is not patriotic. It is the system. The system makes it in such a way that if you want to show honesty, you are considered to be a traitor. Do you know what they call mercurial? I don't know how they put it in English. That's the price tag. Do you know that this pen, which is sold in Mokolo, 4 for 100, one on that on mercurial put by the system in 1,000. So, if the minister now goes and buys this pen in Mokolo 4 for 100, that's 25 francs, and come and put the 4 for 4,000, you blame the minister because there's a text that says that it is 1,000. So some of these things is that the environment where we find ourselves, you tend to cause evil, cause harm to your community without knowing, because the nature of the environment that you find yourself is the one that you are even tempted. If you want to do the right thing, the question is, if you want to do the right thing, do you know what they always ask you? What do you want to prove? Do you know, let me end up, do you know that there are ministers, there are directors who have never gone on leave for the past 10 or 20, 30 years? Do you know why they don't go? It's not because they don't like leave. The fear is that if they go on leave, somebody who may be asked to do just the minor things around, a lot of things will be discovered. So they remain there and cover up. So what we should do is patriotism, while individually we try to show our patriotism for our state. Let the state help us by putting on laws that will be able to guide us do the right things.
Madam, given that you are an educationist, some people do believe that moral rearmament is needed for us to have good patriots today in Cameroon.
Yes, I just want to say that my co-panelists have talked about patriotism being born with, like it is a personal will that you grow up as to be a patriot, all those things. But me, I think that patriotism is inculcated into someone. You see, now children are not born patriots. Patriotism is inculcated. It is groomed until it reaches a stage of maturity. So you start training children from nursery school, primary school, secondary school, how to be patriotic citizens. When we do civic education in primary schools, we tell them, when we talk of peace, work, fatherland, we explain to children what peace means, work for your fatherland. What does it mean? What are the things that you must do in order to show proof that you love the country? When we sing the national anthem and we ask children to stand at attention and respect the flag, it is a means of instilling that act of patriotism into the students. So when we start doing all these things, we groom them, and then when we feel that as they grow, that is how patriotism grows in them, until it reaches a stage where they themselves will be able to exert, to manifest these things through their actions, when they can influence the society. For example, when they start working and when they start fending for themselves. Now, patriotism at one point in time is compromised because of the situations people find themselves in. You see, we say Cameroon is a democratic country. It is a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. It means that people are voted to work for the people, you see. But now, when these people who are working for the people start manifesting certain aspects that do not conform with the norms of patriotism, the younger ones start questioning the very mission of patriotism, the very notion of patriotism. Because when we teach students, we say, okay, the President of the Republic, for example, must show in his actions and everything that he is a patriotic citizen. Now he is the guarantor. You see, he's the guarantor of patriotism. That is, I don't know how to put it, but he is the one that the people below look up to. Now it means that patriotism can be copied. It can be an example which it is copied. When you show a wrong example, children copy wrong example, and then they talk of Cameroonians or of people not being patriotic starts coming around, you see. So patriotism needs to be groomed. Children need to be taught into being patriotic, and they need to learn by example. Those ahead, the generation ahead, must show proof of patriotism for those that are coming to lead by example. For example, when we talk of, I just want to say something, one talk that is very common in Cameroon, when we talk of youths being the leaders of tomorrow, you see. So that is one of the things that the youth believe in. When we were in school, all of us have been to school. In primary school, I can imagine, I talked of myself. When you asked Mr. Hassan the question if he is or if there are any patriotic citizens in Cameroon, I just laughed when he wanted to start mentioning other people, because I used to say, I am the number one patriotic citizen of this country, you see. Now, but there is something, when we start criticizing like we are talking here, it means that there is something, we have our own ideas that we actually want to run through. So when you invite us here, don't ask that question, because before we come, we are patriotic. Nobody will come here that does not want this country to go ahead. Anybody who wants the country to go ahead will come here and talk. And because we are talking, it is because we want, even if we criticize to correct. You see, to correct people's behaviors. Some people may not go well with the criticism, but that is our mission. You see, that is why we talk. You have your ideas, you talk. I have mine, I talk. So when we talk about leaders, youth being the leaders of tomorrow, we discover that in this country, youth have lost hope of being leaders. Because the leaders of this country are not paving way for the youth to come and be leaders. You see, so it is a common talk of Cameroon. When you say leaders, youth are leaders of tomorrow, I am a teacher by profession, a student will question you and you will not have anything to answer. A student will question you that, madam, you say youth are leaders of tomorrow. When will the youth? Some people, since I was born, I heard that. You see, but the leaders who were there when I was born, they are still the leaders. Then where is the position of the youth? When will the youth lead the country? Will they lead the country when they have become old, or they will lead the country at what time? So those are some of the things that when we inculcate this kind of education to the youth, and they grow up not seeing the things that the teachers were telling them in class, they start having doubts. They start having doubts. They start questioning the very idea of patriotism that you, the teacher, taught them when they were small. You see, that is why there are certain things that when I discover, I get so angry with some of my teachers. I say, no, you didn't tell me that this is how it will be. You made it look like it was a bed of roses.
Madam Jan, do we have a problem of patriotism in Cameroon today?
Yes, of course. Of course. We have a problem of patriotism in Cameroon. If you look at the country, the way the country is going, there are many ills. All the ills perpetrated by citizens of this country shows that there is a problem of patriotism. There are people who don't love this country. There are people who don't love Cameroon. When you send teachers to school to go and teach, and some of them run away and go to Canada and keep on receiving salaries, they are not patriotic citizens. When some of them are still in this country and they don't go to the classrooms to teach, they prefer to go and they receive salaries. Those are behaviors that kills the smooth running of the country. They are not patriotic citizens. When you send people to work, there are civil servants in their offices that have to work for the benefits of the population. We say servants, they're civil servants, they serve the public. And when you go there to be served, they ask you to pay for your services. That those people are not representing the country well, and therefore they are not patriots. You see, so there are so very many things. Corruption every now and then, poor behavior. The other time I watched the Minister of Territorial Administration, Atanganji, talking about, he was talking something about garbage, yes, sewage disposal, and he said, when you eat banana, I just want to repeat his very word, put the peelings in your pocket. When you reach a trash, there you remove it and throw it. Some people will find it very funny. It is a real problem in Cameroon. Anybody who eats groundnut, you just peel groundnut and eat and throw on the, you are not a patriotic citizen. There is something, any patriotic citizen will want to work for the smooth running, functioning, for the pride of the nation. You see what the Americans do. The Americans are proud people. They are proud of their country. They are proud citizens, you see, because of the rules that are put in place, the policies that are put in place to oblige people to respect the rules, and the outcome of that respect is what gives them the pride that they have. But here in Cameroon, what do we have to show for? I don't say, I'm not saying that we are at a zero level, but I'm saying that there are behaviors, intentional behaviors of certain people who are pulling down the country, giving bad image of the country, which is not good. Those people are not patriotic citizens.
Godfred, can we say we have a problem of patriotism in Cameroon today?
She started by telling us about the education. And I think, yes, we educate patriots, I think is one of an element. That's why you see citizenship when it have been brought in the educational system. And when you want to see a leader, because there is something when they talk about leaders of tomorrow, because you also talk about that leaders of tomorrow. I think leadership is not, should not be, people should not be maybe misunderstanding what she's trying to say, because leadership should not be like a matter of succession, which simply means as my father was the director, I will end up being director, or as I saw this person who is already of age, when he will be leaving, I will go into that post to be. We have to make our youth and others to understand that leadership, or be the leaders of tomorrow, is something personal. And even in the educational milieu, you will discover those leaders, even in Form 1. You see the way they behave. They know that when they say clean the class in the evening, they do it. They say don't talk in class when your teacher is talking. You don't greet your elders like this. You will see them. That's sometimes, I can say it's something that even begins at home. Because we should not put parents or parental education out of this issue of educating patriots. Imagine somebody who is sitting at home, by the time the president is speaking, he sends slangs. You think that those slangs are not on air. You are putting them on a vital soul. The soul now is those children who are listening to them, not showing them that the President of the Republic is an institution. And the patriotism in the country starts by the respect of institution, respect of flags. In the morning you see they are lifting up flags, but you see people moving. I remember when I was in class 1, they told us that if you are moving, by the time they are lifting up the flag, an army will shoot you. So when they said that, I was in the village. But whenever I see the flag going up, I feel that village does not even have a police station. But I always feel as there is a gendarme along me, beside me. And up to today, If I'm passing, either they're taking the flag down or they're lifting it up. Those are the elements that we have to inculcate into our children, so that tomorrow, because they are the tomorrow leaders, and to make them understand, because there are many leaders. Mr. Hassan, as he's talking here, this is a leader. Madam Sylvia is a leader. Not only in the educational system, but even at home. Because, if we don't make our children to understand that if I can bring you up, if I can bring other children up that are not my children, if I can help from my researches to make others to grow or to make Cameroon to grow, I will always think that being a patriot is occupying a post in the Ministry of Finance, in the Prime Minister's office, or being the President of the Republic. And that is why you see some people, when they are deceived, because they thought they want to be mayor, they want to be parliamentarian, and when it is not like that, the next step is, if you want to know that Cameroon is black, go towards them. Because what they will tell you is it's a different Cameroon that you have never seen. So leadership.
Do we have a problem of patriotism in Cameroon?
The problem of patriotism in Cameroon cannot simply be defined as a general problem that everybody can see. That's why we said patriotism in Cameroon begins at home. And when it is not done at the early age, at certain level, you will meet some Cameroonians who want to think that to perform my patriotism, I must be at this or at this level. And for that reason, we will always have some people who will not be patriot.
Mr. Hassan Sama, education is a key to patriotism?
Exactly, because when you talk of education, I'm happy to have two teachers with me here. Education is from where? It's from the house. What we find outside there is the reflection of what we have from home. And that is why when you see teachers out there, what they go through, if the teachers are unable to change a child, despite all their efforts, there's a problem at home. So, education is the key in molding a child. I've heard my co-panelists here talk of Madame Yang, for example. She's talking of, the impression that I've gotten from her is that the youth are waiting that they should give them the future of tomorrow into their hands. No. As he tried to say something, you work for it.
Yes.
Nothing is given. You work for it. And for now, if Madame Yang is not yet a member of a political party, you will hardly be a leader of tomorrow. Everything passes through politics now, out of Cameroon. There's political history, political economy, there's political economy, there's political culture, there's political in everything. When the youths, who are the people who voted Issa Chiroma? Were they old people? They were youth now. But had you people not youths who were candidates? Why do you people not vote the youths who were candidates? The first thing is that you first of all have a very envious mind that if I vote this one, he will become this, he will be more than me. No. We work for our tomorrow. You made mention of the fact that the idea of grooming children, that patriotism to you is something taught. No. I don't accept that. I'm not saying you are wrong. For me, it is not something to be taught. When my first parole that I took here, I told you that when a child disobeys the parents at home, don't think that child will obey the teacher in class.
No, you have to teach your child how to respect.
Education begins at
Education
home.
begins at home.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So that is why I say
I'm not. What I want to tell you is that we don't resemble our parents in everything. Am I right? There are certain things that our parents did some of our parents were witches and wizards.
There are many.
Are we witches and wizards?
Pastor, let me not cut you short.
Okay.
There are many phases, or there are many quarters from which a child receives education. You receive education from your parents. You receive education from the society in which you grow. You receive education from your peers. You receive education from your teachers. You receive education from the society at large. From what you see, you groom your own personal education. That is why you will teach a child everything. You will do every example, but the child comes out with his or her own willpower. That is, you capture from the society and then you grow it. So when I'm talking of that patriotism is taught, it is groomed, it is nurtured it is inculcated and nurtured into a child, is that from the very beginning, be it at home, be it in school, you start giving the child the kind of education. Yes.
We are not born
Yes.
a patriot.
To me, a patriot is a good person. We are born good. Am I right?
But the society.
We are born good. So as the society destroys us, fine. What you have enumerated is correct. Yes, but what I want to say is that we don't resemble the people who have grown us up. They are children who grew up. They are super intelligent. But their parents were maybe the dollars around their communities.
Yes.
How do you explain it? That's why I was trying to say, it is innate. It is in us. A child, in those days before you people were born, in the days of the 50s, 60s, if a pupil was dismissed in primary school, you never succeeded in life. It means that your case was worse than anything. You never succeeded. But today, we dismiss one year, instead of reforming the person, the next school takes, because there's corruption, and teachers are suffering with the same thing. It goes around. Nobody. A teacher says this child does not merit to go to the next class. The child leaves your school and is taken in the next school, maybe a government school. You are teaching a government school. The next government school takes the child in the high class. So, I am not. What you are saying is correct. Yes, but what I am saying is that we cannot be judged by our parents, even teachers. When I was a student at the lower level, I was doing further mathematics in Form 5. We had our teacher. Do you know how we're doing it? The teacher came to class and we're working together. Like the teacher was a student, all of us working together. That's why I call humility. The teacher did not say, I'm the one. We left classes and we went out. As you are going back, your brain is bubbling. So we are on patriotism. Another question you have not asked, which I may want to answer without you asking, is that if you are patriotic,
Yes.
and you are not recognized, what should you do? Should you become unpatriotic? It's a very difficult question, because every child, even at home, if the child fetches water for the mother, 3 drums, the child fetches, the mother comes back from the farm and they don't say thank you, the child feels discouraged. When the mother says thank you, what you have done, because the work that the child has done, maybe 10 people would have done it. If you don't do that, you are killing the child's the anxiety of working more. So patriotism, it should be recognized. We sacrifice, it should be recognized. We are not saying that
if it is not recognized,
if it is not recognized, what will happen is that you are the enthusiasm in you.
You stop loving your country.
Not stopping. You don't stop. The enthusiasm in you will diminish a lot. That's what I'm saying. It will diminish a lot. You will not stop. You are not even loving your country because you like it. If your country is in peace, you enjoy it too. You are not doing it for some other people. It's not like this. If we come back to this, the Anglophone crisis, the best mediators or negotiators in the Anglophone crisis will be Cameroonians, will be first Anglophones or Cameroonians, because the solution to that crisis gives a healthy atmosphere to Cameroonians first. If you bring out a stranger, the stranger may not even know the pains that you are going. Somebody when Cardinal Tumi wanted to attend something, and the party of Mr. Afoya, they refused. Mr. Tumi was an Anglophone, and he had heard a lot. He had gone to a village. He had been arrested, so he knew what he has seen. He could, when he sits, if he were to sit on a negotiation table, he would know exactly what he is saying. Because, say, for example, remember Madame Mundi, when Madame Senator Mundi, when
We're not talking the Anglophone.
no, we are talking about patriotism.
Yes.
When Madame Mundi came out from where she was captive, when she came out, she said, "There is war in Northwest. There is war." What happened? Whoever cared even to put her to, there's a woman who can do a negotiation, but who will care? So while we struggle to give the best that we have, which is called patriotism, we should, in return, the powers that be in return should be able to acknowledge and encourage us to do more.
Madam Jang, what is the way forward? How to make Cameroonians love the more and more Cameroon, despite the fact that we have many challenges on a daily basis?
When you ask me that kind of question, I am confused because the question in itself is a very confused one. Now, when we talk of, you know that we have already said that patriotism in Cameroon is at stake. I, for one, I believe in that because this is tomorrow we are entering into the month of February, and I remember that as a child, as a teenager, or as a pupil growing up, those were some of the times that we really actually exercised our patriotic feeling as children during the 11th February celebration and all those things. But it is so unfortunate that while some of the pupils in the country or students will be celebrating, others will be at home. It is about 10 years today, and children from the Northwest and Southwest region don't know anything like 11th February except for some few of the villages, but the majority of the children don't know anything as 11th of February. And that is why I said,
let me come back to my question. Let me break it down.
No,
also.
I am going to that.
Okay.
Yes, because you asked if a way forward.
Yes.
Now I'm just giving the complexity of the way forward. Yes, I'm giving the complexity, one of the complexities of the way forward, because a child of 10 years, why I actually said that patriotism begins from childhood, that you see, and it is inculcated, it is taught with the things that the child has seen. What will you tell the child? What will you propose as a way forward to that kind of a child? So I am just saying that all wrongs can be right. All the things that have gone wrong can still be made right. You see, there is no situation that is worse in itself. It gives a willing mind. It gives a willing mind. It gives a mind, a conscience that is willing to do the right thing, to right all the wrongs. So I think that while patriotism is at stake in Cameroon, it can be regained through the decisions of people who are the stakeholders of this country, and maybe a re-educational process that will at least change the points of view of some people in this country. Cameroon is, I used to say that Cameroonians are one of the most patriotic citizens that I know, because in the face of impending despair, trauma, and hopelessness, there are still very many people who stand for the country, and I think that is to be applauded. And while waiting that people who have the power, who have the signatory to make things right, can do this, to give hope for the hopeless. If in a situation where hope is gone, we cannot talk about patriotism. So when people start regaining their hope, let the crisis of Northwest and Southwest be put to an end. I know that there is somebody somewhere with just a pen can decide, and then the crisis will stop. Stop corruption, stop all the evil practices, give hope to people who are looking up to you. I think in that way, things may begin to change for the better, and Cameroonians who have lost hope for the country may start regaining hope, and then it will be well.
Your last word on this issue, Full Godfrey, before we conclude on this topic?
Yes, I think I will go straight to the question you asked, how can we do to regain patriotism? Because for truly speaking, when you look at things as they are happening, and especially for those who have been given opportunity to serve the country, sometimes you pose questions, because it seems to be as people are confusing the office where they are supposed to serve the republic as their own personal property. And I will understand why the Minister of Higher Education just recently introduced the military training for all the higher institutions, being École Normale, Polytech, and all the rest, not only for the ENAM people. I think because we have an expression, working under the flag. In French, they say travailler sous le drapeau. Working under the flag, which simply means to serve your country. Serve your country when you benefit from those opportunities to be the servant of the country. Because that is why you see they say civil service is free. It is not paid, because you cannot pay the person who is serving, because it's a free service. And for those who are serving there, they just give them something to maintain themselves. And most of the time, when you hear about corruption and all the rest, it comes from that area, because people tend to confuse their offices as their private property and properties. And for that reason, for patriotism to come back, I want to think just that flag that you see, that you may minimize. Why not in the ministries, in the morning, we're supposed to have a day where everybody is supposed to be there to sing national anthem.
Maybe on Mondays.
To lift up the flag. The day can be chosen. Because at certain level, when you discover, why not putting in each office a flag, so that when you are there, you know that that office does not belong to you. That office belongs to Cameroonians. And any Cameroonian, no matter how he is or who he is, you have to serve him. And that is why sometimes I give credit to teachers, because yes, some of them will leave their children to go to Canada. But those who are here, they do what they can, at least to train the leaders and to give them the opportunity to be the leaders of tomorrow. So I think we have to review and even compensate those who are trying to do what they're supposed to do for Cameroon of tomorrow.
Hassan Sama, your last word on this issue of patriotism, the way forward, military training. He is proposing military training to all Cameroonians?
Well, it is an embarrassment for me to hear that 60-something years after independence, it is now that a minister who has been in service for the past 21 or 22 years is realizing that he could propose something. But I want to thank him. It's almost very rare. You know, it's difficult for a minister to propose.
It's better late than never.
I don't know if it is even going to work. If they want to compensate, because what they want to do, I'm sure they want to use one stone to catch many birds. Where are the military that they have been recruiting every day? You know, the only job left in Cameroon is the uniform. Where are they? They are recruiting, training, and they are leaving. Or they are dying in nowhere for no good reason. So if you think that, if your minister thinks that he's going to replace the military to go and die in nowhere, we will say no. Solve the problem so that the teachers, there are no military people. If you can imagine teachers who are very, very, very erratic, very, very wild in classrooms, who have not been trained in military way. I can imagine the type of thing that will happen with such type of teachers. But I think to end up in this, our topic is that we need what we call moral rearmament for everybody. But don't forget, the fish starts getting bad from the head.
Have you ended?
I've ended.
Okay. We shall now move on to our second topic. And we know that for the past days or weeks, we have seen terrible things in schools, in classrooms where some students will consume alcohol. We get into a class with a bottle of beer, some with drugs, and so on and so forth. What is happening in our schools today, Madam Jang Sylvia?
The Cameroonian schools or Cameroon schools are facing a lot of challenges. These challenges have been recorded for a very long time. There is a lot of moral degradation in the school, moral degradation in our schools. We no more recognize our children in schools. And what is happening? We see children drinking, we see children smoking, we see them fighting, even killing teachers. We have recorded teachers that have been killed by their own very students, and it is so embarrassing. The situation in schools, I think everything has to be revised in this country. Like the minister who just proposed that everybody should go for military training, teachers too should go for military training, even the children should go for military training, like everybody should. There are so many things that have to be revised in this country. This is the week of the preparation for 11 February, I must say that. And there are some things that I have noticed in Cameroon schools. I don't know whether, like, it is true that I am a pedagogue, but I am not a policy maker. So there are things that if I had power, I would have changed. The first one is what they call in schools today KEMES. They say it is for extracurricular activities for students to show their skills or talents on some other things that they have to do. But I tell you today, Mr. Tabi, it is a ground for social promiscuity in school. Go there, go to schools during the KEMES period and see what is happening in schools today. While others are dancing, others are in the backyard smoking shisha, doing all kinds of promiscuous activities with their friends. Most parents forbid their children from participating in such acts. The school is supposed to be where you will proudly send your children to. If there is an event that has to showcase students' talents, or because they say all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, and students have to play, the play should be coordinated. It should be a place of pride. It should be a place where children will learn something positive. But when we see that it is continuously giving a negative outlook, it should be stopped.
Are we all guilty then? Who to blame? The teachers, the parents, the school administrators?
Policymakers. The policymakers, they have the power to stop. If the minister stands today and says end KEMES in schools because it is not giving the raison d'etre, you see, like why the reason why it was, the very reason why it was created, it is not fulfilling the objective why it was created, it should be stopped. Because one of the things that I've noticed in this country is that when something is put in place, there is no critical look at that particular aspect, which responding is delay. You know, delay is dangerous. When you see that something no more represents the very essence for which it is made, it should be stopped. So I'm just saying that KEMES or whatever it is, if it is not controlled, let it be abolished in schools, because it is a room. It gives room for social promiscuity amongst children in schools.
Madam Jan, when a student is caught in class smoking cigarettes, who is to be blamed?
Everybody is to blame. The child is to blame, the parents is to blame, the school administration, the society at large, the stakeholders, everybody is to blame. Let me ask you the same question. I'm not in a place to ask you, but let me ask, where did that child get that cigarette to smoke? That is the first thing. The child did not fabricate the cigarette. Where did that child get it to smoke? That is the first thing. How did it enter into the school campus? That is another thing. Why does the child, how does the child have the opportunity to smoke the cigarettes in school? We talk about discipline in school. We talk about the school environment. Everything should be put in place so that children should be watchful. When I was going to school, there was nothing like that. You didn't see students smoking in class. How will you even enter the school campus? We didn't have a gate, but we had an imaginary barrier that they say if you cross this place, if you cross this line, you are out of the school campus. How will a student manage to enter into the school campus with cigarettes in their pockets? You see, so it is from the house. It is from the house you transfer it to the school, and from the school you grow with it back to the society, and everything just becomes a sham. That is how it is in this country. Everybody for the challenges that we face in our school, the degradants that we face in our school, everybody is to blame. Everybody.
Mr. School Proprietor, tell us what is happening in our schools today. It's quite terrible. Students drinking alcohol in classes, in classrooms, and so on and so forth. What is happening? Who is to be blamed?
Yes, I think she said it almost all. You know, educating a child is a chain. It is a chain. It begins at home. From home, you go to the street, and from street to school. Because these 3 steps, which simply means if something have not been done in school, it can be done on the street or in school. Now, we will talk about parental responsibility. Many parents have almost abandoned the children in the hands of the teachers, because at the age of 2, you see a child in pre-nursery or at the creche, and the father or the mother, they are occupied, they don't have time for the education of the children. And some of them goes and they come back late. By that time, because the question is this, the issue is that the children are not, when they are in school, as those that you see smoking, they are not learning to smoke. They are already professionals in smoking, which simply means that it started somewhere and sometime. It may be at home in the absence of parents, it may be on the street, or it may be in school. But the question will keep on asking, how does that enter into the school campus? Now we see the limit of the administration, especially at the level of disciplinary. At first, it was instituted that before you enter the school, you have to be checked up. I think in my own small educational system that I've put in place, I said, no matter the small the child is, check the back. Because there are some children that the parents will prepare them a bag, but at the end of the day, they introduce into those bags certain things that are not on the awareness of the parents. And by the time the discipline master is not paying attention, those things will find themselves in class. The person who brought them will not only use them alone, but will try to involve others. That's where you see the issue of bad companies come in. And it reflects, you see, this team and the other team, they are almost joined, because you cannot talk about a patriotism to somebody who learned to smoke Meanwhile, the person cannot even buy a pen on himself. When they talk about shisha, you know how much that thing costs. And when they say one smoke is almost 500 cigarettes, and when the brain is destroyed, what output can you be waiting for that type of a patriot? So, which simply means that what is happening.
The policies makers have failed. The teachers have failed.
You know, there are laws. Laws are to be applied. And we cannot forget the theoretical part. It has been said that in school milieu, we should not find this. But we need human resources to put those things in application. And that is why when we talk, I question, when a child can succeed to enter into the school campus with a bottle of a shisha, which is not a pen because it can be hidden. Even though today you discover that there are some pens that have become knives. I just said as the time is going, people are supposed to be more vigilant. Even the teachers at home, because in class, because it is of your own risk. Maybe that cigarette or that drugs can be taken before you enter the class or after you are leaving. But the person who can be the direct victim can be the other colleague that is coming in, which simply means that from time to time, we have to multiply discipline. In schools, I think when I was in lycée, we have le surveillant de secteur. When they talk about surveillant de secteur, it means you can be given 3 classes.
The students were not smoking in that your school?
No.
Because of that surveillant de secteur?
No, it was not possible because you have 3 classes, which simply means the person walk around. When you are in class, you appear that you see somebody tapping you behind. You want to see is the surveillance. So it was very difficult because you are checked on the gate, and when you are in class, you are also checked even during the classes. So I think we have to reinforce the discipline, and parents have to take their responsibility and to know exactly with whom their children are moving with to talk about bad companies.
Asasama?
When 2 teachers have already spoken, I find it very difficult to say something. But however, we are in a debate. I must have to scratch my brain and come out with something. The first thing is that policies. We have private policies and private policies. Private is individual. Public is the state. He made mention of it. At first, there were certain recreational facilities that were never around a school milieu. But today, the bars surround the schools. And you know, if you want to know if your child is a thief, you should be somebody who has something that can be stolen. If you don't have money, you will never know whether a child can steal money. And so when you keep on tempting, human beings, you bring bars around, they are playing music, they are there. Those children, they have feelings. They will be tempted. That's the first thing. Policies. The second one, I'm just almost repeating what they have said. You have parents today. I hear what they were drinking, what they were doing in class, whether they were drinking was wine or whiskey. It was not Tantroa, which is 500 francs. It was wine and whiskey. It means that it came from rich homes. From rich homes.
And they didn't buy, they took it from homes.
It came from rich homes. Now the question there is, do we now say from whom their parents have failed? No. I don't see any hand of parents in it. The parents talk to their children. No father will tell the child that you should feel free and do anything you like. But when the children are going to school, you have already talked with your children because we say what we have passed through. Now, what should the parents do? A child takes a bottle of whiskey and hides in the vicinity, leaves the house without anything and picks it there. Do we not blame the
Put
school?
it inside his bag.
It's back.
Yes.
The parents are not there. Now, do we blame the school administration? When they reach at the school, the friend who enters first collects it from behind, and he too enters without anything. But where our problem is, what boldness that children should be able to do in class, in the classroom milieu. Those things happen. Let me tell you, when I was a student in high school, one day, it was excitement. I was smoking cigarette. I was learning. So a friend came, brought it to class. We did it and we ran. Nobody caught us, but we didn't come to school for 3 or 4 days. Just the fear, as he was saying, imaginary punishment. Now, the third thing I want to look at is the children spend more time with their peers and in school than with their parents. Are we agreed? When the children come back from school, they reach home around 5. They left the house around 6. They come around 5, 11 hours, they are outside. The parents are poor. They are struggling to make ends meet for the family. And they allow their children in the hands of strangers. The person who washes their dresses, who cooks, who does everything is done by strangers. Do you know what those strangers tell your children? The parents come back at home with the parents, yes, they come back at home around 8 o'clock in the night. Tired, everybody is tired. Most of them have even eaten on the at the job site. Most of them have eaten there. The children don't see their parents. They don't discuss with them. They only meet them. And on Saturday and Sunday, the teachers who are trying to grapple some few francs organize
Classes,
special classes. And on Sunday, the parents or the mothers, they are rolling in churches, in Pentecostal churches, rolling on the ground and asking God. Meanwhile, their children for 6 days, they have not discussed with their children. What do you expect? But do we blame the parents? I cannot blame them. If they had jobs that they could work and finish by 3 o'clock, maybe they would have been at home. They are not there. So it is too complex. Then when I come to the teachers, most teachers today, because the end of the child is in the hands of the teacher. Most teachers today, how do they teach students or children? They teach them to pass exam, to have certificates. Meanwhile, it's supposed to be holistic. The moral upbringing of the child is supposed to be part of their job. The certificate is supposed to be part. But the best one is the one you bring a child who can fit in society. Fitting in society is not about certificate, carrying out certificates. So, are these our teachers today? Are they there as a calling, or they wanted just to have matricule? If they wanted matricule, then they are doing their work very well. But if it was a calling, their parents, we had teachers who follow children, pupils to their homes. I was very stubborn when I was even from primary school. I almost left school in class 5. It was one teacher, Mr. Angel, I hope he is still alive. He came to our compound and took me, and I would stay with him for 2 months. I stayed with his house for 2 months. In my village, for 2 months. And I became something. So today, are the teachers ready? Then the last one, still on teachers. You have female teachers, they dress very terribly. Half skirts, they are on the board, the children are behind. They are almost naked. Some of them, female teachers, they even have love relationship with students that they are teaching.
Even male teachers.
I've not yet come. I've not come there.
Teachers,
yes, I'll come there. No, that one is even. I mean, female. You know that one. You know, stealing. If a woman steals, it is it's an abomination. But if a man steals, they say it's normal. You're stealing to come and give to a woman. Then you end up seeing teachers, the male teachers. They even ask cigarette from students and they smoke together. My experience when I came to Yaoundé University, 1985, most of you were not born. What I saw there, I never believed I was with human beings. I came from a well-organized, I'm sorry to be proud that I'm Anglo-Saxon. Do you imagine I was in university when I entered the class one day and I saw a student who got up, went to the teacher who was teaching, they exchanged cigarette, they lit it in class. I thought I was smoking. I went to and they did. I came back, I could not even smoke. It was terrible. But so you see the culture, the way. Can you imagine that all these deviances are happening and nothing is being said that it took place in Norway and Southwest, where there is war, where children are supposed to be all mad with what they are going through. Most of those deviances we're having are taking place where they say there's peace.
Thank you.
So the wall.
Thank you, Asante.
The wall. It is not the fake peace that we say we have that makes us develop. Cote d'Ivoire was in civil war for 10 years.
Thank you, Asante.
We have not been in war, but they are more developed than us.
Thank you, Asante. We still have 4 minutes. We are concluding. Madam Jang, I'll give you 1.5 minutes to conclude. Tell us, there is this question, the school of yesterday and the school of today, they are 2 different things.
The school of yesterday and the school of today, we are talking about generations apart. The realities of yesterday are not the same. Today can only have a kind of reflection. It is true that it is the people of the school of yesterday that are teaching in the school of today, but the realities of the society are not the same. Yes, there are so many things that students learn from apart from what the teachers tell them in class. We have technological devices. We have the Android phones that students learn from. In those days, it is what your teacher told you that was ultimate. What your parents told you, what your teachers told you. But today, we have several sources from which children learn. And then the mentality of the parents of today is not like the same as the mentality of the parents of yesterday. Because Mr. Hassan just talked about a parent, teachers or students doing things that the parents are not responsible for. But I just want to tell you that in schools, I mean, I'm a teacher, so I've witnessed so many things in school. There are so very many things that are happening in schools that you cannot even imagine. If you who is sitting out there cannot even imagine. Because there is one time, I remember one student was caught with about 300,000 francs in school. And students are not allowed to come with, apart from the 200, 500, maybe for taxes, everything, that huge amount of money, it is not allowed in school. So that child was caught with that amount, about 300,000 francs. And then he said, wow, this is terrible. Maybe that child must have stolen the money from the parents. And then they called the parents immediately. The parent was one, in French they say, au cadre or something, in this country, here in Yaoundé. And the parents ran and came to school. And then they say, hey, we saw your child with this money. The parents asked that, is that why you called me here?
Culture.
Is that why you called me here? Mais monsieur, vous m'avez sorti de mon bureau pour venir voir parce que l'enfant a pris un de plus,
Miette.
Un agent de plus. Et vous m'appelez. You see, so, and it is in front of the child. You see, so when we talk of these things, parents are way more responsible for these things. You see, the teachers have responsibility over these children. The teachers are with the children, but they don't have the responsibility over the children. That is one thing that I want to say. And then now,
that should learn.
Okay, we are talking about the deviant education behaviors of children. Stakeholders, something must be done, and it should be done very fast before we lose it. Thank you.
Yeah, last word as we conclude.
Yes, I think if we need Cameroonians who are patriots, if we need leaders of tomorrow, it should start by the education. And I think no good patriot can come out starting smoking at the age of 10, 15, 16, because those people are just people that tomorrow you will not have any good results from them. So I think the foundation of a country, they say if you want to destroy a country, start by destroy the educational system. And if we are not careful, we are going to see Cameroonians who tomorrow, because you know the system of education have almost changed. Now teachers are no more in the center. those who are in the child, you have to accompany the child from his learning process, and it is no more as yesterday where we inculcate everything. But I don't think that we should abandon everything in the new system, because if you have good leaders today who were not trained from this type of education, I think we must try to balance the system of education. That's to take that of the old system and blend it with the new system.
Yes.
Before we take Hassan Sama, you wanted to add something, Madam
Yes,
Jam?
I just wanted to say, because Mr. Sama talked so much on the responsibility of teachers, and I just want to say, if in this country we have some upright pupils or students or workers, it is thanks to the teachers. The endless effort of many patriotic teachers are there grooming, no matter how difficult it is not easy for teachers. So I think teachers who are responsibly doing their work should be applauded. They should be credited.
I'm very happy she's given what I should end with.
Okay.
So all the stealing, all the embezzlement here was taught by teachers. Since everybody in Cameroon is thanks to the teachers. Yes, however, I'm not saying that.
Said that if we still have some upright people, it is thanks to the teacher, because the teacher is not the sole responsibility.
I had less than 1 minute, please. However, all what we have said here, if we have brought in critique, we have brought in suggestion how it can go ahead. All what we are saying is that let our society change.
Thank you.
Let it change.
Thank you, Hassan.
Not only from a particular level. Let it change from up and come down, and from down to up.
Yes.
Thank you, Hassan Sama. It's true that somebody has sent a message that you said a while ago that you were very stubborn, but that the stubbornness is still in you. That you are not yet changed. Well, we say thank you for watching Kamdi's television. Thank you for watching the Republican debate. Take another appointment same time next week on the same channel. Till then, we say, may the Almighty God continue to bless the Republic, as we all say, Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
Avec beaucoup de plaisir.